Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to one more match here on day 3 of the Intel Extreme Masters, of course happening at Gamescom Cologne, Germany. But before we move into that match, we're going to have a quick chat with the man with a cold heart, backstabbing his Danish brothers, and then saying doesn't care what else goes on in the next match. He just wants to charge forward for the win himself. It is Kerrigan from TSM. I think that's a proper introduction, don't you think?
Not that harsh. I mean, it wasn't us backstabbing SK. We couldn't do anything in the end.
That is true.
Mousesports changed because of the upset against EnVyUs, it changed how we wanted to play everything out. So we had to play against SK 2 times in a row.
Yeah, I mean, the true story here is that it was unfortunate rather than, I mean, you guys backstabbed. It's not like you chose to play that match. Kind of the hands went in favor of Mouse, of course. They wanted to try to break the Danish Brotherhood and going forward. But let's talk about that. I mean, you had to play them twice today. Not by choice, but again, you did have to play them twice. And, I mean, what did you think of playing against them? SK, again, we've been talking about this has been the theme throughout this week. A bit of a mixed roster still, but they've been performing pretty positively in certain rounds and certain maps.
I mean, the Cobblestone match was very hard. We already knew that from the beginning. Getting into a bad start or letting them get the momentum, it could be hard for us because we're not that good on the Cobblestone. We don't have the adaptation yet because we don't play the map. So when people shut us down on C to the T side, we don't know what to do yet. We are like completely clueless. Yeah. When we came to Overpass, I felt like we adapted every time they tried something new and then we just adapted and won the next round. So they didn't get any momentum because of the way we play the maps.
Yeah. Now, also something else here to think about is you guys have been trying to set up Mouse and EnVy up to match up against each other, and finally Mousesports does take that life off of EnVy. Do you think it can happen again? I mean, are you pretty happy that finally it's looking like there's a much higher possibility that you guys can just go ahead and take this week? Because until now, EnVy was sitting at 4 lives very comfortably.
I mean, the reason why they're sitting 4 lives was basically they played Mouse's worst map, Inferno, and they played our worst map, Cobblestone. So that took away some percentage of us being a team longer time. But seeing them playing on train, I knew there was like, now there's also a possibility to take cash because I know how Mouse plays on cash and you don't want to face him on cash because the way Gobs is playing on that map at the moment, the calling strats, he's doing a great job.
I think what's going to be really interesting, if Mouse did win this match, then would Mouse pick TSM and EnVy to play one another?
Oh,
that's a good question.
So I already figured it out. Mouse did a terrible mistake picking us against SK. We are forced to play Renegades tomorrow. So no matter what, we play Renegades, we have to pick him against Mouse afterwards. So we basically came up...
Actually, he's right, because until after that match, the whole back-to-back thing doesn't happen just yet. Because the other rule still applies first. So Kerrigan is actually one step ahead. You're setting yourself up for success.
We came up with an idea to get SK into top 4 playing Mouse SK. That means we had to face... Mouse had to pick TSM against Renegades. We throw them out. We will pick SK Mouse. We told to SK we agree on that idea. Then they can play it out the 3rd, 4th place. Gabi told me he has other plans. So now he's facing EnVyUs. If we don't win, he's out of tournament. Number 4 and number 3.
So, I mean, Gabi's going to be almost kicking himself then. You've kind of...
This is like, well, this is like watching some TV drama right now.
This is like Game of Thrones until Extreme Masters Edition for esports. Like this is getting pretty serious.
We're going to get like an esports red wedding. Like it's just going, it's going horribly wrong.
Yeah, but overall, now before we move on to the very last match of the day, how have you guys been feeling though about your performance here this week? Now we've wrapped up 3 days for you guys. You're done with day 3. How good are you feeling about this week?
I mean, 2 out of 5 maps we played Cobblestone, so I don't feel confident with those maps. But I think we did good on train. I think CRD had some good things that I need to think about. They closed down our A rush, for example, so we have to look into that, how to refigure that. But otherwise, Inferno and Overpass was for me walk in the park, basically starting C-side on Inferno, great job there, and C-side on Overpass. So from there on, I think we did a great job so far in the tournament.
I mean, you talk about your performance on Cobble. The question I wanted to just try kind of jump in while you're talking about that is, you've already gone out and said, you know, this close to the major that Cobble isn't a map you're particularly comfortable on. I mean, there must be something up your sleeves coming into the major, knowing that you can't have a map like Cobble so openly known as a weak spot for TSM.
I mean, for me, V2 system in a match is like 5–10% of the whole match. If you V2 wrong, you get our pick, and that's how we won tournaments because we had a wide map pool. Being coming into the major, only have 1 in bracket, so we have to think about giving up Cobble for something else. We don't face another team, so we are preparing Cobblestone. But if you're confident until the major, we have to see how it goes in practice and take it from there. we have to take a risk at major if we want to play couple.
Understandable.
Right. Yeah, well, I mean, sounds like definitely you guys are trying to cover all your corners as possible going into ESL1 Cologne, of course, this week. So far, like you said, a little bit tough on couple, but still you won on one of those matchups. And so far, overall, a positive record going in with 3 lives still here at the Intel Extreme Masters. Now it's time to hear, though, about the other side of the sad story where the brothers had to fight each other. SK, of course, had to fight against TSM twice in a row. We'll head over to the stage with OJ to hear how that story wraps up for SK at the Intel Extreme Masters.
Thank you very much, Chobra. I'm stood on stage with the 50% of the Danish teams that is not in this competition anymore. Kasper, how do you feel right now? You look really dejected.
It's a bitter pill to swallow also, because the way that we ended going out in this tournament was with facing TSM twice in a row. Arguably the best second or third best team in the world, so kind of unfair to a certain extent, but that's how this format is.
Do you feel you've played your best Counter-Strike while you've been here?
No, I mean, we're playing with a stand-in and he's insanely talented individually, but it also forced us to speak English, which sometimes made our communication fairly poor. I feel like we're so new, we have a big chance of developing into something really good, but only time will tell what's going to happen.
So what do you take out of this positively? What do you take out of this tournament? I mean, you've not come last, you've come 5th place. It's still a good place to be.
5th is good if there's a lot of teams, but 5 out of 6, maybe not the best. I would say that I take a lot of things. I mean, the crowd has been totally amazing. I had the lucky twice in a row double kill.
Not lucky, it was skill.
Skilled, prepared, I knew it, all that, but that was amazing to stand up and yell and everyone was clapping and hoodling. It's been some amazing experiences as well, I think.
If you've not seen that double kill, go on plays.tv, it is absolutely ridiculous. We were looking at the amount of lives left. How annoyed are you that a certain team might have done nothing today and still have 1 life left?
Yeah, congratulations to Renegades, I guess, with not playing today and ending 3rd, but that's how it is. It could have been us as well, so, I mean, you shouldn't be, like, mad about it, because that's how it is, nothing to do about it. It was a clever trick by Mousesports, I guess. I mean, I didn't expect it, but that's how it is.
So what do you and the team do now? Do you hang around Gamescom, go look at some stalls, or do you go home and sit in a room and stare at the wall and feel moody?
You go home, then you cry a bit more than the guys that lost their skins. Then you try to get on top, you try to find out what was our mistakes, what did we do well. And then tomorrow we'll just have a chill day, maybe do some sponsor things, come and hang around in the venue, and then we'll be back strong at next tournament.
Okay, call the next game for me. The next matchup is between EnVy and Mousesports. Who wins that?
It's tough because Mouse has brought back the momentum, and if the German crowd starts cheering for them, and on a map like Cash where they're insanely strong, I don't know. All I can say is that the crowd should really start cheering for Mousesports.
Who do you want to win?
Mousesports is my old organization, so I probably should say them, but after they messed us up putting us against TSM, I hope that EnVy is going to smash the F out of them.
Aha! And that is a good way to end any sort of interview. So please put a hand together for Kasper and all of SK Gaming. Fantastic competitors. Chobra, it's back over to you.
Thank you very much. Of course, a warm round of applause for Cadian, who, yeah, I mean, as OJ was saying, he's had his moments. He was really fired up, and we could see that in the booth. He was having that positive, he was emanating that energy to the rest of his teammates for SK Gaming. It was really good to see.
Yeah, I actually really liked where Cadian was in the SK roster. I mean, you have to remember he is this trial period at the moment. He's kind of signed that trial contract, and I mean, all eyes on him coming into the IEM. This was a big thing, a big deal for the SK boys. And I think he looks quite at home. I mean, he's hitting his shots for one, but also he's sitting in the middle. It was a point that we made during the cast, is he's the one in the in-game leader seat, which, I mean, default, usually you would expect the in-game leader in that middle seat. I mean, I'm sure you can shed some light on that, but he's definitely talking a lot. He's behind his team, and it's intriguing to me to see how quickly he's kind of integrated himself into the lineup.
Well, the possibility is there that maybe Barry doesn't feel as comfortable speaking English.
Very good
That's
point.
something he just brought up.
Cadian is pretty comfortable speaking English, so maybe there's a thing there. But that's, in-game leader doesn't necessarily always sit in the middle. It's very common, but not always.
I mean, God B actually sits on the end, doesn't he, primarily?
Yeah. So obviously that one kind of depends on personality, but that's a good point you brought up, because he just spoke about it himself. They were kind of forced to speak English coming into this week at Gamescom. and that maybe had a bit of an effect. Of course, again, not just Cadian being on a trial basis, but Nico having to come in as a stand-in. Things were pretty tossed up for SK. Given those circumstances, you definitely got to give them a hand for how far they got, and it's kind of ironic to see this happen because, you know, Cadian's standing on stage, he's like, well, it felt a bit unfair. That is how the system works. But he was the one who kind of started the wrench in the whole system, right? He's like, I want to survive. Renegades, go at it.
If he had the same opportunity as Renegades had, he would have taken it any day of the week. It's like, you know, that's just being a hypocrite.
Well, I mean, at the same time, I mean, definitely you're feeling dejected. I mean, it's just ironic because that's what this system brings about. Is like, you can't blame Cadian for feeling down and feeling that it was a bit unfair, but at the same time, he was all in it deep on day one himself. Like, he was fighting just for their own survival. Him and a Sponge, they both had the same idea.
Oh, yeah.
Of like, we're just going to try to last it out. We're just going to last it out, try to go under the radar here.
Quite literally. I mean, I was talking to Renegades at the start of the day, and they were like, so we've kind of worked this out. And he had a big smirk on his face. Sponge was just talking to me and basically saying, we think we've got third. And he was like, he was piecing together the results. He was trying to work out how things were going to go down. And Renegades kept very quiet about this. But there was definitely already a kind of murmur that they think they could have secured that.
Yeah, it's really interesting how it worked out beautifully. And of course, Cadian here just kind of offhandedly say, well, congratulations on the third. Now, they haven't secured it yet, though.
Bingo.
That's, to some extent, that's going to be a little bit firing up for Mouse, where they're like, whoa, whoa, whoa. We're not out just yet. So, ladies and gentlemen at home, you tell us, can Renegades secure third place without playing on day 3 at the Intel Extreme Masters? Hashtag IEM. Let us know what you think and what's going to happen in this map. Because Cadian, I mean, he admits, like, you know, Mouse, they play well in the upcoming map, but at the same time, he seems to think that EnVy's going to take this and Renegades is going to secure third place. What do you think, Natsu?
I mean, EnVy's been traditionally good on every single map almost, but Cash, Cash, I can see Kenny being a big factor for EnVy here, definitely with his hopping abilities, you know, being all over the map, trying to get aggressive picks early on in rounds and stuff like that. Apex has also been always a really good Cash player as well, so yeah, it's gonna be tricky. It's not gonna be a walk in the park for Mouse or EnVy, neither of the teams for sure. But I think at this point in time, considering Mouse already won, EnVy as well on Train, and we know that Mouse is pretty good on Cash, I think actually Mouse is probably going to take this. I hope they do, because that would actually give us a really nice bit of a twist here to this tournament.
It would be an incredible story to see Mousesports being supported by the German crowd and then going head-to-head with EnVy 2 times in a row to stay in the tournament. Like, that would be pretty insane.
That would be.
I mean, we need to have a really fired up Chris Che here. That's for sure. He needs to really wake up. Standing up there. Come on, be awake. calling you out here.
Cross your fingers.
Making sure that they're all attentive here, getting ready for the last match of the day. Mouse once again fighting for their life against EnVy.
So you talked a little bit about how Apex and Kenny are going to be really influential over on Cash. I mean, on T side, I'm just casting my mind back to kind of Titan T sides. The whole point of their Titan T side revolved around Kenny and Apex doing that. Do you think things have changed since they've joined EnVy? How much have we really seen of that?
No, I mean, we all know now that Apex is playing the entry-fragger role. Obviously,
of course,
that's like that is the key role in a team, and you need a lot of support from your team. And so far, apart from that Train match where their T-side was horrible, actually, but previously, they've been very composed when it comes to their attacks and T-side. They've gone through it like one wave. And when you have that support, when you're the entry fragger, that's when you're comfortable. That's when you get in your comfort zone as an entry fragger. Because it's a lot about your teammates flashing you in and making sure everyone's running behind you to try to kill it if you happen to die and things like that. So if they can get that thing going on, just forget about Train match. Could be hard for Mouse as well. Yeah,
I mean, I really like the comment from Kenny S. I mean, I'm sure you saw it as well, Will, where he was like, it feels nice to not have to pick up 30 frags and like the game relies on me picking up 30 plus frags.
Right.
I mean, to be fair, I was looking at Kenny talking about that and addressing that, and he was like, that's been taken a little bit out of context. I wasn't, bashing on my former team, but it was a given that when you talked about Titan matchups, the first or even just the second point you kept brought up was Kenny needs to perform.
It's not even that necessarily whether he believes that or not, but that was always the topic, was that
it's
either
true.
Kenny wins and therefore Titan wins, or Kenny doesn't and Titan doesn't. And so even if you have faith in your teammates or something like that, once you hear that 1,000 times, and that's what everyone talks about, that's what the commentators talk about, that starts to get to you. But Happy talked about it earlier too. It was like, well, yeah, he seems a lot more relaxed. Jason, we know that he doesn't need to, and therefore he also knows he doesn't need to. So there's this level of trust now.
Yeah, it's not a sustainable way of winning if you really rely on one guy going 30 frags every time. It's not just going to happen. I mean, there's just so long you can be on a god mode like he's been before.
Yeah.
And I think he's very energized, having the opportunity to play with some different players. It was a tough patch with Titan. There's no denying that. Yeah. It wasn't as good as they thought it would be. So I think this could definitely be a very good storyline with the EnVyUs new lineup.
Yeah, and I think it's just interesting. Again, we talked to Hastry yesterday where he was saying also, when both sides kind of knew something had to change. It wasn't necessarily a matter of who was good, who wasn't, but the chemistry wasn't really there for either team. So far for Envy right now, sounds like it is going well, but we saw, of course, the weaknesses on Train. We're about to find out, can Mousesports fight to live another day? And again, if they win this, things could really get interesting. And then maybe Renegades fights to, just with their teeth to the very end, throws another wrench to the system. We will find out. Mouse does get their choice of sides. So ladies and gentlemen, we might be in for a fireworks show here for the last match of the day. Day 3 of the Intel Stream Masters. Mouse with 1 life, Envy with 3. Let's find out who loses their next heart.
Thank you very much, Cho Bros. So here we go, Mousesports Envy on Cash. Now it's a strong map for both of these teams. Mousesports have performed brilliantly on this in the past, but that is in the past. A lot of things were different. Envy have a fantastic record on the Cash. So OJ just nearly died, I think, there, but he tried to walk across.
Are you good?
It's all right, it's all right. He got away with it. Nobody noticed because we had Envy on the screen, luckily. So as it is, MBK sat in position. Talked to Apex earlier on. Had a few choice words for the analyst desk, talking about, obviously, his inconsistencies. He's like, guys, I'm an entry fragger. How can you be consistent as an entry fragger? But
doesn't matter, man.
It was a little salty, but good luck, have fun exchange. Here we go, pistol underway. Mousesports, of course, coming out on top in that knife round. Does mean they're going to be on the CT side. Let's see what Happy has in his bag of tricks with now Apex and Kenny in the bag alongside him.
Yeah, and you pointed out some facts about Mousesports. A very good team on Cash. A lot of the time, they're really good online. You pointed out to me earlier on about talking about EnVyUs in 2015. You said they're 23-7 on LAN on Cash.
Obviously in 2015,
on LAN,
yeah.
Obviously with a little bit of a different roster, but a very strong team. We can think back just to the Pro League, ESL Pro League that happened a couple of weeks ago, and they got destroyed by Cloud9. Well, not destroyed, but they got beaten by Cloud9, but that was a different roster. They're still a very strong team. They're taking their time on this pistol round, 50 seconds left to go. And we see Mousesports going to be playing for that retake. Gobby with the kit over towards the middle. They have a 3-man stack over towards it, expecting the hit to come there, and they're going to get pretty lucky on their choice because that's exactly where EnVyUs are going.
Kenny's the only man with smokes and flashes, so he's going to be the man that will set them up here. They are leaving it late, like you said, 35 seconds. They do manage to catch the planter as he comes around, but it's going to be Apex that leads the charge. He tries to get around Forklift, but Dennis quickly picks him up. And now Spiddy holding from the angle. Now, MBK still yet to get the bomb plant down. 20 seconds. Still need to try and maybe get a couple of frags on the board. You can see Dennis trying to get control of Forklift, and he does. This is a great situation now. Mouse have a good control, but Happy could put a spanner in the works if he manages to get up and around Speedway. He does get Chris J down. Keo quickly pops out a quad. He gets himself one. It's now God beat Dennis and Happy. Happy going to push on through. Is he going to let the shot? Doesn't matter. The defuse came through. And that was beautiful little setup of defense there from Mousesports. Of course, got B with that kit. Got himself control. It's all about getting that Forklift on that site. And they just weren't able to get any kills on the way in.
And the thing is, even though Happy went on that 1v1 towards middle, they delayed him long enough so he couldn't flank in and rotate. MBK had a fantastic first kill, but he couldn't get the next two that were there after. They stick the defuse, they pick up that first round of support, and the MBK buying that scout up gets dinked down to 25 health. They have bought the head armor with the pistols, even a deagle for Kiyoshima. So Mousesports playing that one perfectly in the pistol, off to a strong start into round 2.
Little conversation as they pass the guns off, so MBK dinked up's going to give it Kenny, see what he can do, and he's going to boost him up in towards mid as well. Meanwhile, we see Spiddy holding them off back on site. Apex has pushed on through. He's in mid, just around the corner from Nex. Go B, he's going to get caught in the back here, and Nex will go down. Good start for Apex there. Happy holding Squeaky, trying to distract them while the rest of the team make their way to B side.
And we did see, like I said, MBK go for that peek in towards middle. He had the spawn for it, and then giving that one right over to Kenny. As Chris J, though, he's going to have a lot of activity coming towards him and coming through multiple directions. He gets completely flashed up. He's not going to hit the shot either, down to 12 HP. This is looking good for EnVyUs. Kenny just opens up the site.
Kenny with a double tag on towards him there, but Godby's in position. Oh, good little tag down on towards Keo, but didn't quite catch him off. For so close to landing the headshot there, but now they've got 2 on site. A little awkward here. Happy's holding the mid, and 3 members of Mouse, all coming from CT spawn. Godby up on high. They're going to try and push on through. This is M4s and a UMP, so they should have the firepower to clear outside here. MBK very low. He needs the support of his teammates, and now they're sight down. They can't let this happen again. Could try and sneak in and get the defuse, but now Spitty all in trouble on his own. He's going to get fired down from every angle. He gets Apex down, but not quite happy. And well, it's the round 2 Blues strike once again, and this time I mean the Blues, because the boys in blue, EnVyUs. By the way, actually, I want to take a look at them on stage, because they told me yesterday if they lose a game, they will be wearing the blue shirts now. Black is like their lucky colors now, so keep your eyes out on that for the rest of the tournaments as we go through the year.
All right, well, let's see if they do, and if they have changed shirt colors. But on that little bit of a push there, Spitty, he had a flashbang and an ump in hand. I'm really surprised he didn't use the flashbang, because he was the only one with any sort of, grenades to use. That could have been really instrumental in retaking that site. But a great job, EnVyUs, to come back. We do see Mousesports invest into the armor and the pistols as well. We do have, looks like EnVyUs, 2 men towards A, 2 men back towards middle-ish, and Keo just sitting back towards Sunroom. Apex still just playing this one really slow. No need to rush into this when they know Mousesports don't have a lot to use, a lot of firepower behind them. But there's a 2-man stack towards A. There's Next able to rotate in from short very quickly. But there's so much time on the board. Yeah, that one flash they have is going to be gone.
They've not pushed in on that smoke either, because they realized they hadn't cleared out Forklift. Spitty didn't show himself. He kept himself in a good little position, and he's using that smoke to his advantage at the moment. But Kenny will come around. Happy gets a quick double. And Chris J now just going to go and try and save out that Deagle and armor. So EnVyUs will take it 2-1. They haven't actually got the bomb in there yet. Kenny's just had to collect it from mid. Sorry, from the T-spawn. Now he's running in with it. Now get that plant down. Still continue to use that time to hunt down Chris J. Did he just show himself? Apex holding the angle. I'm not too sure if he showed himself that.
No, I don't think so, but they can assume he's at towards B. You have Keo pushing Sun. You have Apex slowly pushing through. I mean, Chris, if you can hold the Deagle armor, it'd be nice into that next round, because they're going to have to save anyways, but Apex gets the shot. So Mousesports going to be almost on a full eco. EnVyUs up 2-1 after an interesting start, as they did lose that pistol round.
So let's see if we see Kenny S moving towards that AWP. He's got himself just the CZ in hand. Gonna hang on to it. All right, let's see how it works for him. He's not going to buy up. He's got the rest of his team who got AKs. I guess he's feeling confident with them while he saves for that AWP. It is going to be a bit of a B hit here. Apex, MBK all looking, peeking towards it. Godby just flushed out of the position by that molly. Chris J very much without a hope here as he gets a quick peek straight towards Apex.
That's like the worst thing to have, see a Molotov and a grenade coming straight into your face. Happy will get taken down. He will get 1-man force troubles, and this will be a gun rescued, but Apex is here to completely shut this down. They know exactly where Dennis is, and they will rush him for the gun. And this looks like a solid start for EnVyUs. Next, not going to get much either off of that. But EnVyUs, 3-1. Kenny S is going to be able to forward the AWP now. Got that 8K in the bank, and does pick up the AWP. Actually noticed he kept his name from his Asmod they used to use back in Katowice and carried over to his new Dragon lore. But actually I like the fact that he saved a CZ, because he could have bought an AK, but then what would he have done it in the next round? You know, it would have been a waste of money, and they knew Mousesports was going to be on a full save, so it's kind of like, all right, we'll just sit on a pistol. Doesn't matter if you die anyways, you have the money to the next round. The rest of his team, he can feel confident enough that the rest of his team is going to carry the round for him.
Indeed, indeed. They talked about that on the desk, obviously, the tweet that he made, confident in his teammates. Maybe a newfound confidence. Doesn't have a team based around him anymore, but, you know, at the end of the day, when you got Happy with an AWP of his own, it's a double AWP setup, by the way, who's already on 7 frags and is very confident in rocking that AWP. When the in-game leader is this strong and this confident, the rest of the team can just build on that, and it's looking like this A hit will be coming out shortly. MBK still holding the angle, Keo being that distractor, but Kenny does go down, and that's not main.
Yeah, so they do get a lot out of his hands. Happy, though, just as happy to pick it up. Like you said before, can definitely be using that gun. And he's going to continue to push through. Apex actually pushed straight up through the smoke. He's in the A site. He's going to get a potential flank on his Spitty. He has control of it, and Now, EnVyUs going to attack onto the site, but MBK and Keo are not even here just yet. They don't have the bomb in the site. Next does clean up one. Happy, though, does respond, and MBK will be able to finally run this in towards that B site. Probably going to smoke off towards short, allowing to get this crossover. And Keo secures one over towards middle. It's now Chris J and Gabi in a 2-on-3.
Gabi's a long way away from this one, so Chris J is coming in on his own at the moment. How did that not even land? I don't even know sometimes. Just that little flick of the wrist doesn't quite work out for you, and MBK somewhat caught off guard there as Happy doesn't manage to catch his shot down. Now Chris J trying to get the angle, but Happy, well, a second bite of the cherry finally works for him, but Chris J manages to come around, and now this is a real tricky situation, but it's going to be Chris J that will go for the save. He did have a kit. Keo, though, going to rescue one of those orbs, but that was a really expensive round for EnVyUs. They've got a lot of cash, though. They built up a decent bank, so they'd be able to buy themselves right back into it.
Yeah, it's good that you pointed out, too, because, I mean, you can see 10K on Apex, but the fact that they're able to take so many guns out of their hands, and, you know, most importantly, you see the power of EnVyUs, and I think the Death said it perfectly. The fact that, you know, Kennyus doesn't need to shine. You think of Titan back when he was on the team, it was the Kennyus story. It was exactly what Chober said. If Titan's going to succeed, Kennyus has to succeed. But here, you have so many great players across the team. You know, you can have Happy shot at any moment, and he's going to be able to help carry a team. He's done it before with EnVyUs. You have MBK, who has really done fantastic in the past. Keo, when he shows up, he really puts his team on his back. And, you know, everyone individually just is a phenomenal player. And I'm curious to see, and you do have your blue jerseys, by the way. I'm curious to see how they're going to, you know, advance on as time goes on. I think Happy's the only one with the black.
Happy not got the memo? I mean, the rest of the team have gone that way. Even the coach has gone to the blue jersey. Happy, he's probably like, oh, forgot it. Sorry, guys. I forgot to bring it with me. So that's because they lost a single game. They're like, these are our lucky jerseys. We'll keep them on. Obviously, the new shirts that EnVy picked up there. But Mousesports, they've only got one life in this tournament. The CT side is where they're going to be looking to pick up some of those rounds. And, well, it's a technical pause, apparently. Haven't actually seen what the issue is. They haven't actually said anything. They just said it's technical, so
yep,
we're just going to have to take their word for it. But we are, of course, looking at EnVyUs.
And I like how, I think it was an interview with MBK not too long ago. I think it was actually this week, and he was saying, you know, him and Kennyus have moved past the problems they've had, you know, within previous teams that they've been in, the previous experiences. And it seems like their team is really starting to...
So Chris J is like, the light above my head is still on. So MBK is like, yeah. So Keo looked at his, he's like, yeah, it's here. So is ours.
Punch it.
I believe that camera lights, boys. It's the thing. I'm pretty sure those lights have always been on. Maybe, I mean, I can imagine they would be quite distracting, but...
he needs to play with his jacket on, and it's really hot. There they go. But yeah, so we're saying, you know, MBK said they moved past any problems him and Kenny has had. You know, you look at Titan as well. We talked to Maniac at the European qualifiers, saying the team is looking really good. Everyone's really focused and determined to perform well. It seems like the little switch that did happen between the two teams has worked out really well, and I'm curious to see how they're going to do at the major when both teams are attending.
Yeah, I can empathize with Chris J, honestly, because we get the lights
turned off,
and we get our jackets off as well. There's no way we're sitting with those. And of course, you know, Joe Bros guys, they're all sat with pants off. So it's crazy over there. But you don't know what goes on under the caster desk, really, normally. Or the analyst desk in this case. As it stands, it is Mousesports getting themselves unpausing. So we will be ready to go once again. 4-1 for EnVyUs. Mousesports up against it here. Just Chris J, of course, with the rifle. He's saved from the last round. Everybody else on the eco.
Yeah, so they're going to stick near him. Maybe pick up this M4 if he can't accomplish much. He doesn't have head armor. Not going to be too much of a loss for him, though. We'll get that first kill, so a good start for Mousesports. They're not able to rescue the gun, though, and the bomb has been dropped in middle. Apex will be the one to defend it. Spetty pushing in through main. He'll get taken down by Happy. There's EnVyUs has joined the party in middle to lock this down, to protect the guns, and to pick up that bomb. Chris J, look at him. He's in a perfect spot. He gets another kill, but Apex is going to shut him down.
Well, that's Kenny's AWP that got dropped there. Hasn't been rescued yet from Apex, so that's a tricky situation for it as well, because it's in the middle. And even if they go for one on the site, someone's going to have to go around and hoover it up. So Apex looks like he's going to be heading in towards B through vents. Keo is with him. Happy's on the rotate. Threw out a flash to try and distract at A site, and that's kept Dennis on site. But Nex and God B will be in position to cover this one off. God B's got to land this P250 headshot to start things off.
Oh, a nice little peek into that corner. They will spot him out next. We'll pick up the kill, though, at the M4. Chris J has dropped, and Dennis coming in from the backside just like that. It's quickly a 1-on-2. Keo alone against the two people. He has the bomb. He's going to get the plant off. It's up against the AK and the M4. They don't have armor, though, so the aim punch is going to be huge. Not to mention, they don't have a kit. If they're going to retake, they have to do it quickly.
Oh, Oh, nearly got a tag onto Keo there, but now they know his position. They know he's at the back of sight, and Dennis just goes flat out aggressive, gets straight up in his face, and they will get themselves the defuse with the full 10 seconds. Now, Nex is on the hunt. He wants to find orbs. He knows they'll lose somewhere. He's going looking for them, but I don't think he's going to get it. It was in the middle. It was in the middle, mate. Went the wrong way.
Well, it's unfortunate, but you know, everyone at home, you see there exactly why saving a gun is so important. Chris J, off the back of him, picking up 2 kills, not to mention a couple of good P250 shots, did net them that round. But he said, wow, and I can see it on the screen as well. Yeah. Double up setup for EnVyUs on the T side of Cash.
Straight back to it. They've done it already. They had Happy and Envy Kenny had it earlier on, and it was semi-successul. Happy obviously hitting the shots, but to buy straight back into a double up setup, that is ballsy from EnVyUs and very expensive indeed. Chris J is lining it up. Keo's going to be that distractor once again, but this time EnVyUs are making a bit of a more concerted effort to focus over on the A side. Apex just waiting for the smoke to clear. Spinny, though, will strike first, and it's Happy with the AWP, who's just been shut down. It's Squeaky.
Yeah, so a little bit confused, actually, how Spitty got such a clean shot off. I mean, Happy knew Main was smoked off. He was kind of relying on his teammates to maybe cover that position. But a good boost, and it works out well for them. That's in that man advantage, most importantly. I'm most surprised that not see EnVyUs actually get any sort of middle control. You know, we didn't really see an AWP picked up at the end of that round. They were able to buy one for Chris J, but, you know, you put Kenny S up against Chris J. It's going to be a tough battle, and if they get that middle control and take him down early on, well, he's not going to be a threat later in that round, and that could net you quite a few more.
Beat's going to have to try and flush out this middle. Does manage to land the grenade onto Keo. That takes him down to 47. Mid control, though, is in the hands of EnVyUs. MBK, Kenny, and Keo all there. Speedy, who's already got himself a double. You saw him just pushing out a main there. So if they're going to go for mid-A push, which it looks like they will be, yeah, they've changed their minds. This is going to be a distraction and a back away, but Godby's going to push on through. He's going to find MBK. That's in the middle. Meanwhile, you can see they're pushing through checkers. Chris J in position will find himself one on Keo. It's Kenny, the last man standing. That molly on point forces him to go in the corner, but he's in a real tricky situation. AWP in hand, trying to run away, trying to go for the save with just 3 seconds remaining. Mousesports close out another good round, and EnVyUs, we talked about how expensive it was. They are in a real tricky financial situation coming into this 8th round.
And it was a smart move to make too, like you're saying. You know, they could have gone towards A, but because they got a couple of kills, they were able to move in towards that B site, but they didn't expect Gob B. Like, that would have been the round if I think Gob B didn't get that initial kill in middle, and Chris J could have been overrun. But either way, that's what they have to deal with. Mousesports only down 1 round, and it's going to be a majority of a save here for EnVyUs as Apex buying up the AK. They have a couple Deagles, P250 and Tech 9. Looks like they're going to go for the boost over. They don't have a flash, though, to make this one happen, and Chris J has already opened up onto MBK on that B site.
Yeah, they've got the double boost here, though. 1D strikes again as Nex goes down. Ordinarily the man that's dishing it out, finally on the receiving end, but it's going to be another B control push. God B is sat inside. Chris J trying to get a glimpse on towards mid, and does get taken down by Apex. And Spitty, who just got himself a double in that last round and stopped their attack on A site, may well be required down at B, because God B is all alone and 4 members of Envy are coming in.
Yes, they are. They got the armor to back the swapped up too. He needs to get the second kill into Vents. He's not going to back away from this, but he takes out a second man. He's spraying down on a Happy, who runs away. He's going to have to back up, but Gobi gets the 3rd. Looking for the 4th out of Kenny S. He's not going to hit the shot, but his teammates have come in, and Spitty's going to close out the round to tie things up.
We have a game on our hands, ladies and gentlemen. That was, you know, in all essence, a save, barring that 1 AK for EnVyUs, so let's not read too much into it. But Mousesports will start to feel confident here. They will be getting straight in. Of course, EnVyUs with the AKs now, going to be piling in. Let's see where they can go with that.
All right, well, going back into this round, like I said, the AKs picked up. They have a lot of flash and smokes to use. And you can see EnVyUs going to that really standard kind of play, letting Happy go towards that door time and time again to get that control. It's been unsuccessful in the past, though, as we saw Spitty boosted up on top of red. They still got Keo just watching towards the push B. They've got a little bit of extra protection towards middle as MBK, Apex, and Kenny S are all there. They're going to go for the boost up again. We saw Keo pick up that fantastic 1 dig in middle, but are they going to expect Dennis this close? He's in a great spot. He's got Nex there to back him up. He's got Gobi as well towards middle. Gobi pushing through the smoke. They're trying to close them down.
Yeah, he tried to look to the side, expecting the flash, but instead Apex just ran straight in, got himself a quick, easy double on Gold B. And Dennis now, Spitty in mid, will get taken down at sandbags. That just leaves Chris J all alone over on the B site. So EnVyUs do get themselves one back on the board. MBK is a long way away with the bomb, so they're going to hunt down Chris J. They don't want him to keep hold of this rifle. As you can see, financially, it would put him in trouble, actually. And that's going to be an important start on Apex, but now they know his position. Now they can just close that net down as the bomb gets planted.
Yeah, you got Keo going in front of him, back towards T side of middle, and Happy pushing through CT spawn. So Chris J most likely not going to be able to save this. Maybe a cheeky spot, though. He might be able to get away with it.
Wall bang it. Happy, go for it.
Nah, he's trying to play this one silent. He's been walking the entire time. He's like, I'm going to keep this gun. I'm going to pick up this gun to Chris J. And I think he actually might be able to save it, but Chris J's actually maybe wanted to challenge on the duel. But we did see EnVyUs that round, though. They went for the middle control again. We did see Mousesports try to meet them head-to-head 3-on-3, but EnVyUs was able to hit their shots, and it looks like Happy might now know he's in the back of checkers.
He's not going to get him, because Chris J will hold on to the M4. That was important, actually, because quite a few members on the team can afford to buy, so they might actually force this one now. Dennis certainly in a decent position. Godby, no problem. We could easily see FAMASIS for the rest.
And we did see just a few rounds prior, he was able, just with the M4 alone, to help win the round, picking up 2 kills. But like you said, they're investing into it. You have next with the MP7 up against the head armor and the AKs. He's going to have to be very aggressive, maybe push through middle or something like that to secure a gun. I'm actually surprised to see him not going door to challenge out against Happy. Instead, he went towards mid to back up his team. I don't know. MP7 not that great of a position for that, or a good of a gun for that position, but not wanting to give away a potential early kill either.
Yeah, they just boosted Godby into vents, Chris J. So you have the other side of that vent covered off, just in case Envy, who have been going for a lot of mid control, do decide to push on through. Meanwhile, the partner in crime, Chris J, who just boosted there, gets just annihilated by Kyo, and that's giving B. So are they going to expect Godby there? Well, they will, because they're going to see the vent popped out, so they're immediately going to look towards that angle. Meanwhile, Mousesports, they've triple stacked A side, so they're well out of position. They still don't look towards Godby. He finally drops down after getting Apex. And now that will be side control for EnVyUs. How are they going to go for the retake here, or will they actually just think to save?
I would think they'd want to try to save this, but I mean, it's a 3-on-4. They do have a kit on the Spitty. And the bomb has now gone down. Maybe if they can get a cheeky kill to Next, they'll go for it, but instead it looks like they're all just going to back away. Or at least Next might not, maybe not, because he has an MP7. But, you know, if Spitty, in that round just there, if he was in middle a couple of seconds earlier on, he would have spotted that no one has really pushed middle. We did obviously see Happy with X-Ray, but no one pushed out middle. So Godby didn't need to drop out of vents to challenge out against the 3 members of EnVyUs. He could have went back through vents and hoped to pick up the 1v1, which is obviously a lot easier to pull off, and then could have survived. That could have been a different round, but just split-second timings we've seen time and time again really work out for you or not work out for you.
I wonder if this is a tactical or a technical pause that's about to come through here. You can see Apex asking why. The question why? Why? What is it this time? Is there a screw loose somewhere? It's tactical, I'm certain. Yes, it's tactical. There we go. So, Mousesports. And actually wisely so, I think. 6-4, CT side. They really want to pick up quite a few rounds here against EnVyUs. EnVyUs is, though, T side was questionable before, but this time it seems solid. It was on train, though, so that was a very different map, one they probably hadn't practiced.
Yeah.
Cash, I can guarantee, is a map that EnVyUs would have focused on. Probably actually the first one.
I would 100% agree with you on that. Like, they were so good on it previously with their old roster. Now coming in with a new one, they need to maintain that kind of level so teams keep that fear against them. They obviously now know that teams are, they obviously showed that teams know that they don't know train that well anymore, so they're gonna need to practice back on that one, but that might be kind of one of their guaranteed, vetoes in the future if they have the opportunity to. But we did see, that round, Mousesports, they adapted to the middle control that EnVyUs was constantly getting. They put Godby in vents. Downside was that he didn't really have the backup he needed to watch multiple different angles. Chris J going down as well in checkers, not backing away and, just sitting back towards sight. It's a little bit of a letdown because he didn't have that protection. He didn't know which angle to really go for, how to go for the challenge. But just like subtle little things like that. If Chris J didn't die, if Spitty peeked a couple seconds earlier on, that could have been Mousesports' round. But they're down by 2. They need to talk things over, and you see, Godby, the puppet master behind them, or with them in the middle, trying to figure out exactly what to do. And, one thing that worked out really well against EnVyUs was Cloud9 and Sean Garris. I was counter-sharing them so damn well at the ESL Pro League. I think when we go to that T side, I think Mousesports might have their number. It's going to come down to some, fantastic individual plays out of EnVyUs to hold on. Well,
from what we've heard, Godby is the guy that really likes to counter-strat, and obviously against Envy, it's a tricky opponent to counter-strat. While Happy is still in control, how they changed, adjusted, tweaked. It's a very tricky task for them because nobody's really seen this EnVyUs. Obviously, over the last few days, we definitely have, but nobody's seen them on Cash just yet. This is our first glimpse into the mind of Happy. and Co. to see what exactly he's tried to pull out here. So force coming out from Mousesports.
But they have 3 men pushed up towards middle. This is their other response to EnVyUs getting that solid control. They're pushing next straight up in towards that smoke. They could boost over if they wanted to, but they want to play someone a little bit passive in case EnVyUs speed things up so they can rotate back. And next still with that MP7 save from that last round. You can see MBK playing this one smart, just sitting back waiting for Mousesports to get aggressive, knowing that they're not really fully bought up in terms of guns.
Next still up close and personal. Is he going to be the linchpin? Is he going to try and push on through? I mean, he's got that MP7 still. He could just get around and catch them in the spray. He may even just go for that lucky. Oh, look. He's going to flash himself through, but he's counter-flashed. I think they were just both trying to look to pout flash themselves through. MBK immediately reacts, backs the hell out of there, but he's running with the bomb. He's going to come straight around, straight in towards next. Quickly catches a glimpse of Apex, tries to go for the spray through, and luckily he doesn't find MBK. That was so close. I think he caught his feet, and you can see MBK went out to 55 on that one, but the man that was boosted, Kenny S, managing to catch the shot, caught a glimpse of him in the lurking, his head showing, but it's given Godby the opportunity to go aggressive in A main. Does get a glimpse of Happy, but AK versus 5-7 is only going to go one way.
And Dennis, he's going to be all around side. He's got the M4, he's got 4 people looking at him. He's not going to take down anyone. He gets dropped by Kenny. It's not Spitty coming around the car. We'll get the first one. And there's still 3 men there, and they're fairly healthy. They don't really have much to work on a retake with, but just a flashbang out of Chris J. They do have that kit out of Spitty, but mostly just going to try to save these guns, and they will now be down 7-4. But you saw the response, you know, Sen next in middle, have a 3-man stack there, but as you pointed out, the flashes, the pop flashes, the smokes did not work out, and even Godby flashed his teammate, trying to help him in towards main, or towards middle.
And they force for this one as well. Round loss will be kicking in, but I'm not too sure how strong their air column is going to be. Once this round's over, that's why Chris J is going to want to try and hang on to this one. They are pushing towards T-site, which is where Chris J is at the moment, but I don't think they're going to go too aggressive looking for him. Yeah, they're setting up a triangle defensive perimeter, and Mouse will manage to hold on to their 2 rifles. Let's see. This is going to be a real tricky one for them. I wonder if they're going to save, in which case that would put Envy on 8, and 8-7, the best they could hope for.
I think they need to save, yeah.
It's not great.
Get an op for Chris J. Get him like maybe kind of a verse pro-S kind of thing by putting Neo alone in B with an op, and then just having the rest of the team holding on towards the A side. But EnVyUs have been doing a really good job of splitting their attacks as well. It hasn't been just all towards one side. They've been hitting B and A pretty equally. As you do see, Chris J still just on the M4. Happy, great shot of him on a Dennis does take control of middle. And EnVyUs are looking to hit this B side. Godby's going in backwards with the flash, but he blinds himself again though.
He thought he tried to back out. As soon as they double flashed, both of them tried to pop flash themselves in. He backed away, but unfortunately for him,
wait, did the flash
the other side on the map.
Out of EnVyUs, was he looking at that as he ran backwards in because it popped right in front of him?
Yeah, they
that's
both
so unfortunate. That's so
unfortunate. They both pop flash trying to get in there, but Happy will find next, and that's left A side completely open. Chris J, the last man standing. Happy is just around the corner, but is going to step away, and I think Chris J, has he held on to this rifle like 3 rounds running? I think he has.
It's been quite a few.
Oh, he's got 7 deaths, so he's managed to just lurk away, lingering back into the shadows again with his jacket on. But that's going to be 8-4, Team EnVyUs. They did start off strong, did go 4-1 up, but Mousesports tied things up for a little while, but since then Envy have really looked in control. Apex is going to get a glimpse. Oh, Chris J's in trouble now. Very low on health. Happy's going to hold one side, Apex pushes the other, and Chris will go down.
All right, so Mousesports, they can't afford the op this time, and they're going to do just that. Spitty buying that one up for Chris J. You know, it's kind of funny. Mousesports kind of used to be the same story as Titan, you know, where Chris J, if he performs, Mousesports does well. Same with, you know, Kenneth, if he performs, Titan does well. But the roster swap that we had come in for them with, you know, them picking up 3 members from Penta has really kind of made it so Chris J doesn't need to be that man all the time. But as we can see, you know...
Well, I mean, you say that, but, like, ordinarily, obviously, we've been singing Nex's praises. He's at the bottom of the table for his team at the moment.
His consistency this tournament has been really off. I think I would definitely agree with that. We see them, though, just recently have some stellar performances, but you have Godby currently leading at 8-10. Well, second to Spitty, who's at 9-8. But Happy at 13-7, Apex at 14-9, and Kenny S... I mean, I just want to point it out, it's not a bad score. He's at 6-8, but, you know, they're up 8-4, so it's not like it's terrible. Just has the opportunity to pick up kills.
Default setup from Envy. Getting a little look around. Kyo taking peeks down at B side while the rest of the team prob and probe. And Dennis, well, he's managed to find out Apex. Chris J as well. That's MBK going down, and now it's a real tricky defensive posture because EnVyUs We've got no way to attack. They're down to 3 members, so now it's pressure onto Kyo as he tries to create an opportunity down at B. It's got B on B. That is going to be the man that will try to stop him. Wow, that was a very interesting duel. Kyo does come out on top of it, but he's only had 6 health. Now they're going to get sight, they're going to get the bomb down. Chris J with Orb, he's cut off by that smoke, and the rest of his team are rotating. Next and Dennis going to be coming from vents, Spiddy up in high, and you can see there Happy and Kyo down at checkers.
Oh, Happy should not be able to pick up 2 quick kills like that. They tried to rush it, and now Spiddy's going to fall as well.
Wow.
Chris J in a 1-on-3. That was a what was it, a 5-on-3 situation or 4-on-3 situation? Yeah, Scotty did fall at B, and they come back.
And Happy picked up a triple, and he had next to nothing. Like you say, it was the double. It was the double. That should not have happened.
They rushed it. Like they both went through at the same time, and it's kind of like, well, all right, what do you expect to happen if you can't quickly turn fast enough to find out where Happy is? And that was just well played.
Well, that's left Mousesports in a real trouble here, because 9 rounds on the T side is a very good start for EnVyUs. How are they going to respond to it? Well, not a lot you can do when Kenny is already hitting shots like that. Of course, they did go for the full save, so there was no smoke to delay his attack. MBK and Apex just pushing their way in towards B site, and that will be all she wrote for Mousesports. Dennis is the one man that's going to come around through Squeaky. He might find Happy in the back, actually. Nope. No, Happy looks.
That wasn't the first time Gobby's in that position. They've Molotov'd it. Like, that was just deja vu. He's just constantly in the spot when they go for the save, and as you can see, that's exactly what's going to happen. EnVyUs up 4-10, or 10-4. Mousesports.
It's a big 10-4, that's what it is, Jason.
Mousesports could be out of the tournament. Just like SK were earlier on, losing to TSM.
Well, I mean, Cadian called it, didn't he? It's like, you screwed yourself. You've absolutely screwed yourself by going for the pick, the mind games. They weren't on the same plan as the Danes, but we'll see. There's still a long way to go in this one. 10-4, they definitely need this round. They've all got rifles, of course, M4s across the board, but it's a triple AWP from EnVyUs. Not too sure if that's going to work out for them. They're obviously going to be hoping for picks. It's Kyo, the man that's holding deep down at B site while the rest of the team look at A. They haven't actually successfully hit A that much, in all honesty. Every time they've tried to probe, Happy at door once again. He's been caught a number of times by Spiddy. This time, Spiddy got past. Chris J looking, Kyo strikes.
Yeah, when they have taken A, it's been like a really delayed hit. It's not like an all-out take. It's just kind of like, well, we picked up a couple kills, let's work up middle and go for like 3-2 or 4-1, whatever, onto the site. And then next, going to be getting caught out a little bit. Does get the kill onto Apex, and there's a man off to his side. Spiddy secures Happy down, as you pointed out, picking him up at door yet again. And now it's a 2-on-3. Is Kenny S able to equalize just a little bit?
Gets himself another. Oh, Kyo will react, and now, well, Kyo's all on his own. He's actually traded up to an AK, or down to an AK, whichever you'd prefer to call it. Not quite going to get the spray. Dennis down so low. That grenade will finish him off. And now, with bomb in hand, he's going to back himself away. 2-on-1. Now, Nex and Spiddy both got themselves 2 kills in this round, but they're going to have to split their angles here. They're going to have to send one to A or one to B, or will they just stack it? I think Nex caught the angle, realized nobody passed on by, so they're going to be holding it, looking towards main. They're both double stacking, and Nex will strike and finally gets himself a triple. 10-5, the half closes out, but that's not the greatest CT side I've ever seen from Mousesports.
Yeah, and a triple up at the end, it wasn't really that bad of an idea, too, because Kyo had the extra AK to use. He's like, all right, I'll hold on B, see if they push and get aggressive. The rest of you just do your normal kind of thing, because we saw them using the double up already in this game and in prior ones. And then he switched back. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough, but 10-5. What a scoreline. Mousesports just seemed to really struggle to get control of that game, whether it was the A or the B site. I feel like middle, again, is just really the key. We saw EnVyUs use it time and time again as a pivot point to rotate towards A, to rotate back towards B. Now on this T side, they're going to need that Puppet Master to really step up, to really counter-strike EnVyUs and really punish them. They have so many rounds to go if they want to equalize. It's not going to be easy at all. Not to mention, just keep themselves in the whole tournament.
Happy on 18 kills in that first half, 15 for Apex. Rest of the team, single digits. And of course, Spiddy down at 11 as well. So, great first half from the in-game leader for EnVyUs. Let's see how the CT side prefers them. They've decided to triple stack at B side. Apex is just the man that's keeping a glimpse on mid, while Happy, I believe it looks like, did they boost him onto boxes, or is he just up against the wall? Yeah, it's against the wall.
It's interesting because typically you play for that retake. I think that's what they might know exactly is when they run straight past a man right on top of his head. He's gonna pick up the kill. Let's keep the bomb down, and he's gonna stay alive. Most importantly, rushing straight to smoke, straight to Chris J. They pump into each other, and they're gonna pass.
Oh my God, Happy, how is he still alive? They're just jumping around the smoke. They're backed away. They're backed away from sight. the Happy Beast was in on sight, and they've left main. They was like, get away from him. He's mad. He's just dodging it around. Now, Envy all pretty low. They all got tagged up in and around there, but they've managed to go completely spread across the map once again. It's going to be a B-site hit this time from Mousesports as they creep their way through, but it's Kenny S and MBK on site.
Yeah, it's going to be a 2-on-3 as well. Christian trying to cause a little bit of distraction towards that A site. Let's see, MBK in the perk position, able to pluck them when they come in towards. 30 seconds to go on the clock. And they got to speed up a little bit as there's now 4 men rotated by EnVyUs over towards B to help out. They're going to rotate back towards A. It seems as Christian did get a kill on Apex. There's a possibility they could pull this off. But I wonder, are EnVyUs going to hit this quickly to prevent the plant from going down? Or are they going to play fully for that retake?
They've got 16 seconds to get that bomb plant down. This is going to have to be a very fast foot race, and Happy could possibly catch them as soon as they come around main. But Chris J does force them away. They are going to get inside. 6 seconds remaining, the plant goes down, but now they know that someone's inside. If they can get God B down, they realize the other situation. Speedy gets the plant and gets a kill, and now it's an advantage. Mouse, and well, next finds another. Kenny all alone, and Mousesports, with the clock ticking against them, are going to come out on top in this pistol. They're all so low. It's only going to take a couple of shots from Kenny to suddenly finish things off, but the clock's ticking. He doesn't have a kit. And it is going to be Mousesports that will take this important T-side pistol round as they do finally close things out. So Mousesports, that was a peculiar pistol round to say the best, say the less, best.
Say
Can't
the
even
least.
speak, say the least, say the best. That's exactly what I was after. I'm glad you're with me.
Oh, man, they were playing whack-a-mole with them, too. He saw them just all hopping up, and he kept looking in different positions. But, I mean, again, to start off that round, Happy somehow staying alive, bumping into Chris J, passing him. I mean, it was all well done, but you know what? They didn't win the round either way, and I'm still surprised that Speedy was able to cross that site with the bomb, considering he had, honestly, no time. If he went down, that might have been it. Only 5 seconds extra to really work with, but now we have Mousesports on the buy. EnVyUs have bought up as well.
And they've gone for the 4-stack at B. And actually, they may have read the situation well. I'm looking towards Dennis at the moment. You can see he's considering squeaking through in vents, in towards checkers, so it's entirely possible that they go for this one. So I look to Chris J. Now, he was the man, remember, that cleared out A site and gave the call. It's like, A is clear, let's get up there. MBK, in the meantime, is going to peek around the corner and got a little tag onto Chris. Chris, unfortunately, didn't find the head the first time, but the rest of the team are looking to go towards A site. So Envy are out of position.
That question comes down to this, Gabi. Has he read into this situation? Will they rotate straight into a trap? There's no kits. EnVyUs are looking to just pretty much kill them outright.
Nobody from Envy is moving right now.
Yeah,
now they're going. Now they realize it. Scattering like mice, but can they get there in time? MBK's got to just try and delay them. He gets one, gets two, spins around. That might have been enough to slow them down. Now Godby tries to clear out sight. He's going to get the plant down. Dennis gives him cover from Quad. Next is the key man, the pivotal man who gets himself a double spray down. And that could well be it. Godby picks around the court. Keo gets another. Next, and Dennis still standing. Happy. He's got himself in there with a UMPs. He comes around. CZ does get one. Backs away. Knows where the man is. Can he catch him in towards the corner? He knows. Just a foot race. Can he catch him around? He will. Has he got time? I think he does. And Happy, and more importantly, MBK does the job for EnVyUs there. Fantastic hold.
Started with Whack-A-Mole and moved on to Ring Around the Rosie. Yeah, that was a phenomenal job by him to pick up those 2 kills. Like you said, just delayed as long as he possibly could, and Happy with a great flank from door. Took a little bit extra time, but he got the job done. And now EnVyUs, didn't we just see this where EnVyUs won the pistol, then Mousesports came back the second round, and now Mousesports won the pistol, and then EnVyUs came back in the second round. These force-ups are really working for both these teams. And speaking of that, we're seeing Mousesports head armor on next, body armor on Gabi, and pistols bought up.
Happy going to get the smoke out. Doesn't look like he's going for it, so he wants to check it, and that's actually going to feed in towards Mousesports. The boost from Happy. MBK just below him, ready and waiting. That smoke off point. They're going to try and pop flash him. He's just going to pop up and see if he can get the spray down. They know he's there. He finds himself 2 heads though, and now they're going to try and push him position, but Godby gets boosted over, gets himself a quick double, and the plant will come in from Mousesports.
Oh wow, they don't have a lot of HP to work with, but this is a good start. EnVyUs with 2 men alive. They're going to charge straight into the site. Kenny S trying to pick up that first win, but Godby again comes up with his 4th. Can he pull off the ace? It's going to be Keo against 2. As Godby is still alive on 11 HP. He does not have a kit. I believe there's one in sight though.
Oh, he just got a glimpse of the shoulder there, and that's actually delayed him. Oh, and straight away, Dennis gets him. So back and forth we go once again. It's so important that Mousesports can try and pick themselves up a couple of rounds here, though. But the fact that 2 survive does mean they recover some weapons, and more importantly, keep their economy in check, because Envy are once again back on a save.
And you pointed out Happy with the smoke that he had. Was he going to smoke off main? And it was smart of him not to. The problem was a pop flash that came in completely blinded him off, which allowed Mousesports to get full control of that site and Gabi to come up huge with those 2 big kills. And he would have just plucked them as they rush straight in, but that flash, so damn perfectly well timed.
This is actually a big investment from Envy. They've gone full armor with the pistols. So triple CZ, I think we heard Anders talking about it earlier. It's been a while since you saw the triple and maybe even 4 CZs. Course, when it used to be incredibly strong. So if Envy loses, they're going to have to go for another save, which will give Mousesports that momentum and more importantly the bank that they require. But it's not a done deal yet. Looking at the map, you can see it's a 4-man stack at A site this time. But again, God B seems to have read right into this one because they're going for the B push, and only poor old Happy is here all alone.
He's got the CZ, so he could take down a couple of people with him. Gonna go for that spray down on a Dennis. He can't get the shots off, down to 31 health. MBK showing up though and killing a Spitty. Chris J will shut him down on site, so the bomb will get planted momentarily. We have Apex flanking in from the T side. Yeah, spot them out, gets the first kill on the next. Looks for the second on a Gabi, just taps it in, but Gabi gonna get the kill.
Kenny is on no health as well, so it's down to Kyo really. As Kenny gets around, he managed to get a 1-for-1 trade there onto Dennis. Now, can we get some 1Ds coming out from Kyo? He tries to, well, be very impressed if he can get it mid-air flight as he drops down. He does manage to collect an AK. Now, Dennis in the corner. If he goes for the peek, he will get him gunned down, and now we're in a one-on-one. Kyo versus God B. He's going to try and fake out that defuse. God B, is he going to get a look around the corner? Pros don't fake, they say, and doesn't matter, because God B will land the P250 shots. And Mousesports will collect themselves another, and EnVyUs. What are they going to do? They're so renowned for forcing and forcing and forcing, but all they have is a measly 2K between them.
Yeah, I would imagine there's just no way they're going to force. If anything, just buy a couple of pistols. And you saw Kyo, they're trying to save the AK, but Gabi taking that one very well. I mean, it was expensive for Mousesports. Like, they lost so many people, 4 people at 4 AKs, I believe, on top of that. So EnVyUs did, pretty good work on it. But again, we're back to this. Mousesports only down by 3. And looking for the A hit yet again. It's only Happy to defend.
It's another stack out, and God B seems to be reading these perfectly. Happy once again decides to be the man alone. He has got MBK with him just at speedway, and Happy's going to see them. MBK gets the 1 as Happy now pushes on through the smoke. Well, we've seen this before, haven't we? As he crawls on the edge there. Chris J, Dennis all trying to put the spray down. Dennis, MBK being the distractor, still on speedway, and Happy still alive. They didn't actually manage to get in there. Their own smokes working against them, and it's going to be a foot race now as they move the way back to B. Look at this.
And with the route that Gabi's taking, there's nowhere the bomb's going to get them before anyone on the side of EnVyUs could stop them. Most importantly, that's going to be Kenyas getting inside of vents as well. So this little rotate's not going to work out too well unless they can pick up these kills. Chris J does finally open up onto Apex. But it's all about, well, Dennis in a 1v1 against Happy, Christian in a 1v1 against Kenyas, and Spitty and Gabi trying to push in towards that B site.
Kyo, could he get up close and personal on Spitty? No, not going to work out. And that will be B site control. Happy, the only man left, is going to keep hold of his CZ and see if he can get into the mind of God B, because these last few rounds have been completely back to front. Mousesports, every single time Envy leave one man on the site, Mousesports find it.
Well, we'll be getting back into a normal buy round here for EnVyUs. Not going to be assuming any sort of stacks, but not really going to be able to afford too much after this round. Happy's on the off, but he's glass cannon. Kenyas picking up 1 as well. They didn't have that much money. They're investing into the double op and a double glass cannon. This is going to be a rough round for them. They need to secure this round, and it might just come off the back of those 2 players. You got Happy over towards A, you got Kenyas over towards B. And Kenyas looking for a potential challenge. Is he actually going to be boosted into vents, or are they just double stacking that?
He's boosting Kyo into vents while he's sat there. No, they're double stacking it. They're double stacking it. Kyo hasn't gone in vents. He's staying with them. Happy holding A main. MBK, well, of course he's in his corner. Where else would he be? And that gives Apex actually control of mid. Mousesports definitely playing this one a little slower, making sure they can get a good look around it. Spitty that's going to try and challenge out on Kenny. Doesn't land the flick. Will retreat to safety. Now, will they expect Kyo to be there? Well, they do now, because he just took a couple of shots from Checkers, so he's going to also retreat into sight. So they've actually stacked 3 over at A, 2 on B.
And they've given up middle completely.
Yeah.
I wonder if Gabi's actually going to read into this one. He's read into the stacks, and not to mention MBK and Apex have pushed in towards main. They've gathered so much information from this, and if they continue to push, which Apex is doing just that, they're going to hear them or see them boosting over. They're setting up for smokes as well. Apex, he could go huge. He's going to spot them out, and honestly, has good away his position, but he hasn't picked up a kill.
He does get one, doesn't get the second, but did gain the information. Could have been better, though, for Apex, and now it's going to be a change of plan. Change of heart as they push towards B, which is where Happy and Kyo wait. Happy holding the angle up, but will manage to land the open. If he peeks out again and gets a second, it will definitely put a dent in Mouse's plans as Kyo holds the angle. Kiss sees the molly coming in, gets himself a kill. They're going to get us out around the side, so he will be taken down. And now MBK will be joining the party. He's going to be coming through vents, but Happy lands another. Just 2 seconds on the clock. Spiddy's got to back away. Can't get close to the bomb. And Envy do manage to hold on. And that was a good job, because with that double glass cannon or purchase, they were absolutely screwed once again if it didn't work.
Yeah, they were, and that was just
and you
really
could
great
argue
shots.
It didn't work, honestly.
It didn't work out extremely well, but they won the round nonetheless. Like, I guess that's the most important part of that. They did maintain one of them as well. Happy going to be keeping his. Kenya's going to be on the AK. I mean, even at this route, you know, even when they have the op, they don't necessarily even need to give it to Kenny. And that's a really powerful thing to have when Happy's able to kind of opt towards his level. But we're going to see, again, EnVyUs, kind of MBK in his spot. Happy and Apex over towards short. Again, they're relinquishing a lot of control towards middle.
Oh, Denny's tried to be cheeky and peeky, but as you see, down to 11 hit points. Happy did manage to land the shot. Wasn't quite sneaky enough. Spiddy and Checkers is going to get spotted by Kenny. He has a good spray down. Doesn't quite finish the job, though. Doesn't catch and follow with a hate cheat into the smoke either, but that will give them some pause for thought, because there's only 22 hit points on Spiddy, 11 on Dennis. Next does manage to land the shot on Kenny. That's going to clear out one defender, but immediately EnVyUs move into position. Have they over-rotated, though? Are Mousesports going to push away from this one as Apex gets into Checkers? Happy lands another shot on Nex.
Importantly, that Apex picked up the AK that Kenny did drop, so at least gets a gun out of this, and he's got, you know, regular body armor, so it helps out quite a bit. MBK's still all alone at the A side, and you can already see on the minimap, EnVyUs are rotating around as Mousesports are going straight towards a trap. Oh, Happy if he hits that shot.
Happy's looking mid as well. Chris J is waiting for him. MBK does pop out. He's been here the whole time, waiting for something to happen. The molly's going to come in. He doesn't care about that. Sees he pass on by. We'll get another spray down. And Happy also found Chris J in the middle as well. So it turns out to be a great round for EnVyUs. The 13th on the board. And Mousesports, after forcing that round, are going to have to go for a bit of a save.
And Happy's at 28 frags. Second closest is Apex at 18. He's got 10 more than the second closest person on his team and over double the rest.
Not bad for an in-game leader.
Not bad. Not when you can play like that. And it's good to see he's still able to maintain that. He had like the highest KD and the highest rating, according to HLTV, over the course of 2015 out of any in-game leader, and he's maintaining it at this point.
Happy just awaiting anyone take a little peek, but not going to happen. Dennis is the man that's just waiting at main. All the rest of his team look to delay and again get a little peek on towards mid. Envy haven't really gone heavily into mid control, but nor Mouse. Mouse have never really wrestled for it.
Yeah, it's actually really interesting to see. I mean, the times it has happened, we had EnVyUs get a little bit aggressive. The times that Mousesports had it, EnVyUs wasn't really even there. So, interesting to see if they're going to kind of change things up to that position. They have all 5 men looking for that hit on towards A. And with only one smoke and one flash, it's going to be really difficult to take this, especially with Happy there with the op and MBK still sitting in his position with Apex over towards short. There's 3 men here to stop this. Again, they're not even looking towards middle. They have Kyo and Vents to protect that, and the push, it's coming out now.
Yeah, as soon as the smoke went down, MBK going to get the spray, and he'll collect himself a hat-trick. Doesn't quite finish the job. Spiddy does finish him down, but Happy gets a quick pistol in there, collects himself a Tech 9 as well. So 14-9, EnVyUs looking good here. Mousesports on their last life. Remember, they will be out of the tournament in 4th place, and that will give Renegades potential little chance. I mean, they're against TSM in the morning, but still 3rd place. I think they'll live with that.
Not to mention, I believe they get points off it going into the Intel Extreme Masters World Championships, so that's going to help out even quite a bit. And look at Kennyus and Keo, both pushed up checkers. They will expect Kennyus, but will they expect Keo the Naked to come and do some good damage? He's gonna get right behind them. He's flashed up and he is pushed around behind as well.
Oh, he does get caught out, but he managed to catch them all with a nade. MBK now pushing through on towards Vents, but he's going directly through, blind into smoke there, and Godby will get the spray down. Happy now all alone. His team just dropped so fast. Keo's like, did you see me? Yes, he did. Yes, he did. So, Mousesports looking to collect this round. Happy just wants to hang on to this orb. Economy-wise, well, they're in a relatively decent situation. Keo, you can see, is low, but the rest of his team should be okay. So if he can hang on to this orb, possibly just a passive or weapon of some variety may be required. He does get one Godby with that little Tech 9, but it gives his position away. They're not going to hunt him because, well, Mousesports have been hurting for Economy for so long here. They're just going to back away and save. Yeah,
no, a great amount of money to spend, and they can even afford to technically lose a round and still come back. So they need to maintain everything they possibly can have. 14-10. EnVyUs, they will be able to buy up in this one. So this is going to come down to Mousesports. Can they keep this pace going? Like, again, middle control, we pointed this out. We haven't seen too much out of Mousesports just yet. Will they change things up as we get into our 25th round of this game? And Mousesports, their tournament life is at stake. And it looks like EnVyUs do have MBK and Apex there to control middle, so change things up themselves, expecting Mousesports to read into this.
Happy went aggressive straight through Squeaky. Caught a glimpse of Dennis. Didn't manage to land the shot on him, though. That gave Dennis a little backtrack. So not going to challenge on Squeaky just yet. And you can see that's why Happy is obviously going for those wall bangs, hoping for the miracle shot on towards Dennis through the wall. Not going to come, it would appear. No vac required on this one. Just empty the entire clip. We're getting closer.
But cheeks have been clenched. Dennis flashing through. Happy not even going to go for the shot, but that's going to be Apex there on upper side to help out. And the push, it's not a fully commit towards A. They're trying to bait a lot of EnVyUs over towards position. But even with these baits, they're not able to rotate quick enough. They've been taking too long for this one, and they need to push out next middle, which he's done just that. Godby charging straight into the side as he secures the kill. And it looks really good for Mousesports.
They just dropped like dominoes. Suddenly Keo's the only man standing, and Spiddy in mid should have a glimpse of him. That grenade will actually not going to quite catch him. I have no idea how that didn't land.
Didn't have the distance.
Didn't quite have the legs. 14-10. With 14-11 this time around. Mousesports pick themselves up their second round running. That's going to help. They need to keep hold of these AKs and don't want to get caught out by Keo on the hunt. And actually Envy, well, I think they're going to have to go for a save after this. They've obviously managed to get themselves back in it with the money they had, but not a great deal they can do off it. They're not going to find out Keo. He's way down.
Yeah, so one strat we see a lot of teams do is kind of that delayed kind of hit towards A. They push in with the smokes, the flashes. I mean, they kind of sit back, wait for those to go and wait for the counters, and they send one man towards middle to flank. And we finally saw that happen this round with Nex doing that with the backup of Spitty. We finally saw them adapting a little bit and realizing that EnVyUs are kind of over-rotating at some points, trying to read into the way Mousesports have been played. And I was trying to point out that Mousesports, when they do go for those fakes, they take too long to rotate back. They don't have that man pushed up to catch EnVyUs as they rotate back towards the site, but they finally change things up. And now, Mousesports, they're within reach. They're up against basically a save, as you see, regular armor. Oh, Kenneth, he's gonna, this little Molotov coming in, actually to
Kenny
burn over on the other side of checkers.
He's in the corner. You can see Chris J. Woo, nearly missed it, nearly fluffed it. Oh, he had to go for the reload. Not quite enough bullets in his gun. And that was all about missing that initial first shot. MBK drops straight through, gets Godby down, but quick reactions from Dennis will even things out. And the one tap from Dennis will finally get himself the headshot. Now, Godby getting the crowd geared up. Get the Germans behind the Germans. It is their last life, remember. They're on 12-14. They are not out of this tournament yet.
EnVyUs to force it up in this round two. They have regular armor, 3 M4s, a scout and a FAMAS. On the other side, we see a full map out of Mousesports, and they're keeping this momentum going. Like, this is gonna be another round of the bank potentially if they can just get a couple of nice kills to open things up. And they could be one step closer to tied. I mean, we looked at this map, we looked at both teams very strong. EnVyUs a little bit stronger on land when it comes to cash, but both teams have fantastic results.
MBK going for the scout, does have 1,000 in his bank, so could have afforded a M4 if he wanted it, but obviously feeling confident. This seems to be the fallback process for MBK, so I'm not too sure if he's going to get anything because we haven't seen a great deal of AWP action working out for EnVyUs, let alone scout action. But he's been making the hop, skip and jumps with that scout over on Dust 2 earlier on today. It's the turret setup over on B as well. You can see Keo, I don't know, it's Keo, who's the meat
Kenny
in that sandwich. It's Keo. Keo's above, it's Kenny that's below. You know how that relationship's going to work then.
No, well, Mousesports taking their time with what's at stake again, like you pointed out. Tournament Live here in this game. 30 seconds left to go. Looks like they're going to go for the execute on towards the A site. They'll have NBK and Happy pretty much smoked off. So Happy's being forced to sit back towards quad. NBK over towards short. They're going to be pushing through as the smokes do bloom, and this is going to come down to this. It's going to hold.
Well, that scout didn't do a great deal there, did it? Not going to work out. And quickly, everybody drops their lives. This is Happy trying to get in the corner, trying to spray, trying to do anything, but they know where he is. Chris J comes around. He manages to find him. And now they're in a 2-on-2, but Happy's position is very much known. Kenny is miles away. He's making the long run from the CT, throwing out the flashes for Happy. Oh, he tries to get a little peek around the corner, but they're holding the angle. Next has him covered. He's going to go for the peek. Godby gonna be able to catch him. He goes for the stick, but Kenny will go down as well. And now Mousesports find themselves 13-14. We're almost back equal. Money-wise, Mousesports are very much in control.
And you can see Chris J there shaking his head because they realized how close that run was. The bomb wasn't even planted for him. If he could have gotten on the site, he would have forced them to actually attack him, where he could have been backed up by Kennyus. But either way, like I said, 13-14. EnVyUs have almost nothing. Just NBK with the scout, a couple of CZs, and a 5-7 in there. We're going to be looking at potentially a tied-up game. But they have seen a 4-man stack towards B yet again. In the past, when we have seen these stacks at EnVyUs, Godby has read it perfectly and has always hit the other side.
Oh, Godby gets the tag onto MBK. He was trying and hoping for those jump shots, but not going to work out this time, it seems. The 4-man stack at B site, as you mentioned, Spiddy is going to probe there, and the bomb slowly clawing its way into A site. It's going to be Nex, it seems, that's going to get a little glimmer in towards A site first through that doorway. You can see MBK still trying. He's trying. He wants to land anything. The look, are the gods with him? Well, no, they're not, because there's nobody there. Nobody's home in mid.
But they've all gone towards A. Like, they're all just going straight towards this bomb site. And again, there's only MBK here to defend. The 4-man stacks towards B. EnVyUs has not rotated just yet because they know the way that Mousesports have been kind of going for these quick rotates back once they have been seen. But this is going to be a commit onto the A site. EnVyUs have to help out. And MBK is going to get another tag. 3 of them are so damn low that they could pull us off with pistols. They don't have a kit, though, so they're going to have to speed this up.
Happy's making his way around the back. Keo from Speedway. Kenny's joining him in a truck. Apex is coming in a truck. Happy has to get his legs moving. He has to get towards the site because the rest of his team are already starting to put the pressure down. Now MBK landed the tags. Can they get the frags to follow? Apex comes in. MBK does get himself one, but Dennis gets a double. Happy still creeping around the back as MBK keeps them completely distracted. He finds himself another. Dennis goes down. Spiddy not looking. Now he's got to turn around. Happy's going to go for the peak. He's now just going to get the exits. It will be 14-14, ladies and gentlemen. Mousesports have managed to drag this game right back to equal levels. And now you've got to feel the momentum is with them.
Momentum, the crowd. Godby's calling. You even see TSM there cheering him on a little bit. But this is just fantastic showing of Godby and how damn good he is at anti-stratty and just stratty in general and reading into these teams. He's been working his puppets like a master, and he's getting them one step closer to keep themselves alive. 14-14. I never would have thought we'd see this after the first half, how it was such a landslide for EnVyUs on that T side.
33 frags for Happy. Still not able to close out this match. Dennis is going to get a peek. MBK hides behind forklift, and that's going to flush him out. And MBK is going to have to step out, but he gets the headshot down onto Dennis. Sorry, the door. Wall bang, actually.
The door shot.
The door shot, yeah, it's not quite as exciting, but lands it nonetheless. And that's actually going to give Mousesports a problem because he was meant to be the distracting focus over on A site and tries to draw the attention. Again, it's the turret setup. Keo and Kenny on B site. They tried it last time. Nobody came that direction. How long can they hold their nerve? Because Envy have stacked out 3 over 8, waiting. They flashed in towards A main. They've got information. MBK is the man that's gone around. and they're realizing there's nobody home at A main. Immediately rotates are coming out. They're heading down towards B.
Yeah, and because of the information NBK just gathered, it just almost completely shut down this push to Mousesports. I mean, they telegraphed the push with the double smokes. Oh, Gabi connects onto Apex, and that's going to be a missed shot out of Happy. They're going to commit towards this B side where the turret stack is going to be. Keo trying to get that first kill. He gets it on the Gabi. He's looking for that second as they charge straight in. He does get it.
And that's going to be a problem for Mousesports. Spitty now all alone. He's going to get caught by Kenny S. And now match point for EnVyUs. It took them a while to get there, that's for sure. It was 5 rounds running for Mousesports, but have they fell short at the final of Hurlong?
All right, well, we'll find out here. Are we going to see an overtime? We do see Mousesports with, again, a really shoddy, no, not a really shoddy buy. They did afford the AK for Nex, but he's got no nades to use. On the other side, EnVyUs forcing Famas out of Apex. They do have the Opto in the hands of Happy. Gabi just needs to get his team one more round to continue this game. And again, their telegraphing has given away quite a bit with that double smoke cross in middle.
Happy went aggressive and Squeaky as well. Caught a glimpse on Dennis. That may actually give them a false bit of information. They may be thinking it's A. It doesn't look like they're going to rotate. Yeah, they are actually. Apex is heading up towards A site, so that actually well have been a bit of a false positive for them. But Keo and Kenny still holding on to B site. Nex and Spitty being joined by Chris J. They're still looking towards Squeaky. They're expecting him actually to see if he's going to push any further, but no progress from Happy. He retracted, went back on towards A site. Dennis with just 16 health. Gonna look in towards middle. Gobi and Dennis are in middle. They have mid control. Apex now going to look towards them, but it's B side they're going to be hitting. It's Kenny and Keo. Can they hold it down? Next goes get the spray down, and Keo with that molly gets himself to the back corner. He's going to be expecting the push around, and he will find on Dennis. Tries to quick the spray, and he does catch out on Gold B. Now Spitty and Chris J to keep Mousesports alive in the Intel Extreme Masters here in Gamescom. Keo still alive. Swits around the side. MBK through vents, and now Chris J can't get the bomb plant down. They're going to hear it. Happy's going to push him. He's got to get around the side. The little glimmer is all he needs, but Chris J lands the headshot. It's a one-on-one. MBK, he's got a kit. He can slow it down. He needs to get a little control. The glimmer, he saw him at checkers. He's got that grenade. Not going to land on him. MBK actually got a dash to the side. I'm not too sure if Chris J realized that he gets it down. And he takes it to a tied game. Chris J going huge on site. You see what it means to them. They are not out of the Intel Extreme Masters yet.
Wow, what a play out of them too, considering that EnVyUs kind of knew that's exactly what was going to be going down. They had MBK pushed again, but the individual play out of Chris J was phenomenal. Gabi's loving this in front of his hometown crowd.
Whew. What a round. I absolutely thought Keo was going to nail it, but he got himself, well, a double, nearly a triple in there, but here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, overtime once again. Mousesports, can they do it? Can they take a life off EnVyUs? This is all really playing out perfectly for TSM, because they're going to be looking onto this one thinking
it's a win-win.
You know, it's a win-win. It is an absolute win-win for him. Carrigan, obviously, we heard him. He was effectively pulling the noose around Mousesports' his neck. Wasn't happy about the way the situation went. We heard Cadian also talking about it. He expected Mousesports to be going out of the tournament here, but we are back again. They are not done yet. Overtime. It is going to be MR3, 10,000. And well, we've seen Envy going for that double AWP setup. This is a very risky play if they try and do that in overtime.
Yeah, very. I mean, their economy will be in shambles when it comes to that third round if they can't secure the first initial 2. But this isn't the first time that we've seen overtime. We already have Mousesports beat EnVyUs early on, 16-11 on Train. And then EnVyUs beating Mouse on Dust 2, 16-8.
SKTSM as well earlier. So some crazy, crazy games throughout the Intel Extreme Masters. This somewhat deranged format that's been the brainchild of Carmack for many, many years is finally coming to fruition and is delivering some impressive games. This is aggressive stuff from Kenny S, and that grenade is going to be square on the noggin. He's going to peek around. It's Spitty that he's aiming towards. Gets a little glimpse across. He gets the support he needs, but they don't manage to find the kill. That's actually put Keo, though, in a really good position. Nex and God B suspect something, though.
Yeah, they should, because they know that Kenny S has not played this aggressive before. Oh, wait, what? Are they really not going to check Sunroom? They're looking like they weren't going to be going for it. They're not even looking in this direction, Keo. This could be the play that gets in this round.
Patient play. He's still sticking there. Spiddy's looking to the side. He's not going to look at all. Spiddy's just going to walk on straight by. Next has got his back to him. Kyo just patience of a saint. MBK's actually pushed out of A main as well. He's going looking, so he knows that they're likely down here and almost rotating a little too heavy. Kyo does get next down, but that may be all they needed. The boost coming out. Apex, did he catch a glimpse? I'm not sure he did. No, he's going to go for the molly on mid. And he is the man that should try and check out. Dennis has managed to creep his way in towards mid control, but the bomb is heading to B in God B's hands.
Apex, nice jump to spot out Dennis crossing over. Like I said, Gabi with the bomb heading over in this direction. Kenny's going to be waiting from Generator from headshot spot. I'll be happy to back him up from upper, and they're able to lock this down with the AWPs. And now Chris J in a 1-on-4. Kenny's will secure them their first round of overtime.
And that double up does work. So the risk paid off this time around. Kenny and happy. It's a scary thought, really, going up against a team with such great AWPers like that. Both on the same team, both rocking the same AWPs. 35 kills for Happy now, leading his team possibly to victory. Still a long way to go, but the first CT round is very important for them. And now we'll see how Mousesports respond.
And considering it was, what, 10-5 on T side of each team?
Yep.
Like, any CT round you get on overtime is going to be amazing. And Gabi's had a fantastic job of really counter-striding against EnVyUs, but Chris J just trying to push up towards door, trying to catch out someone, just going to quickly back away and trying to just play out the aggression that EnVyUs just threw at them in that last round, forcing them to play a little bit more passive. And you can see Kenny S, if he just catches a pixel, and he will just back away, play this one safe. The rest of the team, though, at Mousesports, Gabi and Dennis push up towards main. They know MBK's pushed main so many times in the last few rounds that they're waiting for him to do just this. They have Dennis turned around in the corner so he won't get flashed. MBK going to do just that. Gets that first go to Gabi. Gets the second, at least Apex secured on the Dennis, and they were prepared for that. They were waiting for that moment, and yet they still couldn't capitalize.
The instant headshot working wonders. Apex and MBK working out on A site. This new combo. Next does come back, and it's going to be another A hit. They're going to try it, but MBK gets himself another as Next goes down in A main, and Chris J has been ineffective at Squeaky. He's just going to back away. Are they going to be looking to save? We've only got 20 seconds on the clock, and I don't think we're going to see a plant coming out from either of them, so they will back to T-spawn, and now Envy, they're on the hunt. Kyo's going looking. Spiddy is the man that he might find just around the corner. If he keeps this pace up, got themselves a bit of an awkward split here. Chris J's got himself way in T-spawn, does manage to get Happy down, but now his position's given up as Spiddy goes down, and he's being flashed out and taken down by MBK. It's a 3K for MBK in that round. 17-15. We just talked about how important the CT rounds were with two 10-5 T-side halves. A 2-1 in overtime or a 3-0 would be magnificent.
The thing is, that last round, it wasn't necessarily an amazing play out of EnVyUs. I mean, those great shots out of NBA, don't get me wrong. But Mousesports read into that perfectly, and now into the final round of overtime on this T half. What do Mousesports have? Well, armor and Tech-9s and an AK. And a couple grenades to use, but they've been unsuccessful with, 10K money. Can they be successful with just the bare minimum?
It's funny how sometimes it does work out this way, that reckless abandon as they try and push in with those Tech-9s, the speed and precision that they offer does sometimes turn it in your favor, but God B's going to get caught out by Happy as soon as he comes around A main. Kenny S, though, flushed out of the corner, but he's got the support. Kyo managing to find one. Kenny going for that jump, not going to work out. Kyo does the damage, gets himself a triple on site. This will be a 3-0 for Envy on the CT side. What a way to answer after the last few rounds from Mousesports in a regular time.
Yeah, considering the crowd were completely behind Mousesports, hear them cheering, clapping. Gabi was riling them up, and yet everyone's fallen dead silent. Losing 3 rounds on T side when he won 10-5 just prior is rough, and EnVyUs definitely taking that time to talk things over and figure out exactly what they want to do. I mean, I think the initial push shot, they had Kenny S and Kyo, getting Kyo into that sunroom and having Kenny S just look for that initial shot, completely caught Mousesports off guard, and now they're forced on the CT side where they need to pick up 3 straight to stay alive.
I mean, the thing is, if you think of how EnVyUs were on CT side, they never really got a solid economy long enough that they could hold out like they just did in overtime. Obviously, when you start with 10K, everybody's got what they want. And well, that is obviously how they were looking to play it out. Here we go, though. It is going to be another double up from Envy on the T side this time. Of course, they both had that 10-5 half. Nexus wasn't overly successful in this position, actually, if I was to be completely honest, on the CT side.
Yeah, they only played it a couple of times. I mean, it was very hit or miss for him, but they've definitely changed things out. They have more men towards middle. They have Dennis, Gabi, and Next here, where prior, you know, EnVyUs had full control middle. They used it to rotate towards A, towards B, and they've definitely changed, you know, switching over back onto CT. But EnVyUs, I mean, one round is all they need. Sometimes it's the hardest, but knowing this, Mousesports, they had to play extra careful.
Dennis backing him up. So 3 men trying to keep hold of that mid-control. So it will very much be in the hands of Mousesports. Looks like it's going to be an A here. The clock is ticking, 47 seconds still counting down as Apex starts to creep his way forward. That's going to be a counter flash from both Spitty and Apex as both looking to get a position. Spitty in an unorthodox little position out the side, finds himself 1, 2, and 3! And that is the start that they needed to this round. 26 seconds still on the clock. That's going to be Happy down. That was a double AWP setup, ladies and gentlemen. That is going to hurt the bank of EnVyUs, but more importantly, Mousesports absolutely needed that round.
Well, speaking of the bank, look at this. Kenny has forced onto a Galil. He has no money left to spend. AK's left across the board, and Mousesports not even bothering to pick up an AWP. They're feeling a little bit more comfortable with these M4s. So here we go into the next round. Again, we saw Mousesports with some good middle control. Are we going to see them do it yet again? It looks like Dennis next going to be the 2 here. And the rest of EnVyUs are pushing over towards this A side. You have Happy back in door. MBK and Keo pushing slowly up through main, and Apex trying to cause a distraction towards that B side. And actually might pull a couple extra men. Gabi's already rotated back towards B to help out Chris J.
You've got to think of the pressure of that play. That was literally match point for them. Oh, Spitty actually caught off guard there. He was trying to get his molly out, and they pushed on a little earlier, and that's caught him with a flash. He's going to get himself into the smoke. Can he get around the back of them again? Because Nex has been taken down. Does manage to get around. He does get himself one, gets himself back into A main, and this is causing all sorts of problems for them. They're still yet to get the bomb plant down as Nex picks up another, and now Kenny S and Keo are in trouble. Caught on site. Bomb plant going in from Kenny, not going to be able to land it because Chris J catches him, and now Keo, the only man standing, is in quad. They know where he is. They've just got him pinned, and he can't do a thing about it.
And he will go down. Mousesports getting 1 step closer to going into double overtime. And this smoke play out of both teams has been ridiculous all game long. You saw Spitty there rushing straight into it while he's blinded up because he didn't want to get rushed down in sight. You saw Keo trying to use it earlier on that B site when they were back on CT in their normal time. And now EnVyUs, they don't have much to spend. Happy on a P250, Kenny S on a Tech 9, 3 AKs, no grenades to use for Apex or really the rest of his team at this rate. And Mousesports have everything they need.
And of course, Kenny and Happy just pistols in hand because going for that double up, going for those rifles, they are completely skint coming into this final round of overtime. Will we see a double? We haven't had it yet here at the Intel Extreme Masters. Mousesports on the precipice of doing it though. Spitty gets a glimpse, but he gets taken down quick and easy by MBK, and now they're inside with good control. MBK going aggressive. Keo finds himself one, MBK another, and now it's a 5-on-2. Chris J starts off well though. Next gets himself a second from Speedway. Now Kenny S on quad. Happy and Apex in and around main. Nex is not going to get him. Chris J will. Can he go superhero for his team? He's in the reload. They knew where he was. He tried to change his weapon. It wasn't to be. And EnVyUs will knock out Mousesports. 19-17 here at the Intel Extreme Masters. They will finish 4th place in the tournament. And that gives Renegades a top 3 finish. And they will be delighted with that because they haven't even needed to play today. TSM, they're not able to take another life off EnVyUs, but weaknesses are definitely showing in the EnVyUs armor.
Yeah, Mousesports, I mean, Gabi had a fantastic game, though. I mean, his calling was on point. You saw him in T-side, constantly reading into those 4-man stacks time and time again. But we've seen that Mousesports is becoming a much stronger team. EnVyUs, I mean, there's some weakness in their armor, but they're still a strong team just off of players alone. Cash definitely map they're going to need to work on, maybe even train as well. Well, definitely train, we'll say. But that was still a great game between those two teams going into overtime.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Training is definitely a weakness. Don't forget tomorrow, maps reset. You guys at home can vote on that one. ESL.gg/IEM vote. What will be the first game of the day? You already know what it is. It's going to be TSM versus Renegades. That has to be played out because Renegades didn't play today, which of course gives you guys at home. The Aussies maybe waking up in the morning, trying to get cash out there, or cash for the Aussies if you're still awake. I'm pretty sure they can't be still awake. It must be the middle of the night over there. Yep. But the Danish fans, of course, TSM, the hordes of TSM. How are you guys going to vote for this one? Are you going to give your team an upper leg? So both now going to be going into tomorrow with 3 lives, I believe. 1 live for Renegades, no lives for Mousesports. They're done and dusted.
We don't want to count out Renegades because there's always a chance that they can win, but let's just assume they get knocked out. Then we have, like you said, EnVyUs and TSM, both the 3 lives. It's coming down to kind of like a best of 5. First to get 3 wins takes it.
Well, if you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. Let's go over to the show, bros.
And we are here with Happy from Envy.
Clap my hands, there you go.
Yeah, there we go. Everyone clapping. I mean, you guys deserve a round of applause. What a teeth-grinding match right there. Wow, I mean, Mouse really pulling through at the end. But you guys you wear it out. Mouse is now eliminated. You help your brothers from Australia out. They are now in the top 3. Let's talk about the match itself, though. It was probably a lot closer than you wanted it to be.
Yeah, I think we could have closed it earlier because we had the draw point since like 2 or 3 rounds. But we made some mistakes as T, so they grinded some TD rounds, and we knew we had a really good CD side if we like get voting and get money. But yeah, they played really great CS, they played really slow, and we figured out the solution to counter that play, but too late, sadly.
Yeah, but now you've played against Mousesports 3 times today. Of course, 2-1 record. You did have that loss in train. But talk us through that a little bit. We were talking earlier, everyone's been talking about, well, Envy, they're looking good, but maybe they haven't been really tested and pushed to their limits. Seems like we're starting to see that a little bit here, but you still pulled through. How do you assess where you guys are now after 3 days?
I think, I don't know, to be honest. I will need to watch the demos and stuff, but there are good things, there are bad things, and I can feel that we are still a young team with a lot of progression. We can do a lot to improve our level right now, so yeah, it seems good.
And I mean, as Chobra said, you played Mousesports a whole lot, 2-1 record. How do you gauge Mousesports as a team? You know you're going to be meeting them at the major potentially. I mean, you've seen their growth considering how they were performing at the start of the Pro League to the Mousesports you've seen now. Is there a big change for you in your book?
For Mousesports?
Yeah.
I mean, they're a top team for sure. They are tier 1,
yeah,
obviously. But I think we will still get the upper hand in the upcoming battles if we play them at Cologne again. So right now I'm not that afraid of Mousesports, even if they can like put a great showing. But as you saw, we still won the game, and it was just good.
Okay, so there is still the consideration that they are a threat, and that's
yeah,
good to know.
Yeah, I mean, I think they definitely proved themselves for that one.
Yeah, you went for the double ops a lot on T side. Was that a specific thing against what Mouse was doing, or was that like a general thing for you?
I knew it was going to work. It's a bit like a feeling, but actually I think the second time I used it, we should have like played it differently, make a strat, and we did it at the end of the side, but it was a bit of timing, so we didn't put it through, and that's it.
All right, definitely something interesting from that match. Now, before we move on, intriguing question here. So you secured top 3 for Renegades by taking Mouse out. How much longer does that friendship last? So, like, are you guys going to talk to Renegades today, try to help them out in their preparation against TSM, or is it like, you know what, we helped you get to top 3, done and dusted, you guys fight for your lives against TSM, it's everyone free for all now?
Well, to be honest, it will depend purely, I think, on the maps. I know that TSM may be afraid to play, like, for example, Cobblestone or maybe Train. And if Renegades get a lucky draw, they definitely can upset.
That's cheeky. He's literally making people like vote Train, vote Cobblestone.
But just slipping that in there.
Yeah, and you talk about votes. I mean, everyone I've seen on social media is saying that if you want to see Renegades win, if you want to give them the best chance, they should be voting Cash. I mean,
oh yeah, Cash. Yeah.
Is that the third one, or do you feel like TSM Renegades wouldn't go too well for them on Cash?
Definitely Cobble as the first map to pick.
There you go. Listen up, guys. I know which camera is it. This one. There you go.
And
listen up.
I guess Train and probably Cash as third map.
Okay. All right. Well, now the fans know, but of course that goes on the other side too. TSM fans know. Try to overload it with the other maps.
Yeah.
We'll have to find out. That map vote does go overnight, but for now, of course, Mousesports has been eliminated now at 4th place here at the Intel Extreme Masters. Time to see how they look back on this week here at Gamescom over on the stage with OJ.
I am indeed with Gobby right now, who, for a man who's just been knocked out of the tournament, you've still got a smile on your face.
With this crowd, of course, I got a smile.
That final match, I mean, it was so close.
Ja, thank you again. Dankeschön an alle, Mann. Vielen, vielen Dank, Alter. Ihr müsst in Cologne aber in 2 Wochen noch mehr Druck machen. Aber Dankeschön. What was your question again?
That's right. The question was, it was so close. It was a tight match.
Yeah, it was... probably we did a mistake on the overtime because I thought, Chris, maybe you want AWP because they want expanded, and we keep playing AWP. I think that was the key to that we lost the match.
Gamescom, it's a loud place. You're wearing noise-cancelling headphones. The cheers were so loud from the crowd. Could you hear them?
I could hear them, man. It was really amazing.
So you end up in 4th position. Is that somewhere you're happy with? I mean, it's not the top 3. You probably, if you'd been sneaky and clever and played politics, could have been a place higher. But how do you feel about 4th?
You know, as I said before, we came here to perform good, to play the best team. And at the end, we played at the start not good. Then we had some discussion and stuff. And today we played well. That's what we wanted. So we don't care if it's 3rd place or 4th place. We're facing, you know, the top teams. We want to face them, not like TSM. They got like big, not big, you know what I mean?
Family show.
Yeah, family show. I can't say it, but you know, if you are the top 2 in the world, I would have bigger balls.
I love this guy. So where do you feel your team is now? We're on the cusp of another major. It's going to be here again in Germany. How do you feel the team is gelling?
At the moment, I would, if I had to place like 8, 9 in the world, but with an amazing crowd, with some good performance, individual performance, we could be top 4 in Cologne.
So what do you do now then? Next few days, what do you do? The rest of Gamescom?
Now tomorrow we have nothing. Maybe we are here chilling with the fans, and on Sunday we have the German Championship coming up. Yeah, we try to win that and then have 4 days off and then boot camp and then Cologne.
Put your hands together for the man with the biggest balls, a fantastic player. They're a great team. Put your hands together for Gobby and the rest of Mousesports. Chobra, it's back to you.
Thank you, OJ, and of course, thank you, Gabi. I mean, of course, he was, you know, giving out shout-outs and thanks to the fans here. He was saying he could feel the energy, he could feel the rumbling amidst everything else going on here at Gamescom. The crowd was going wild when they took it to overtime. What a match to be the last one they played, if anything, for Mousesports. And as he said, I mean, he was like, you know, we came here to play, and at least they got that chance to play their game on Train. And even in that last match, they got that chance to push back through against EnVyUs.
Yeah, they must be really good at with how the city side went, because obviously they picked up enough rounds on their T side, and they were playing really smartly. Their execution towards A were really point on, and of course it's scary to play anti-ecos against EnVy. And they were spot on with those two.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Not falling on that one. So yeah, they must be really looking into that CT and going to review that later on and feel out what went wrong.
I just think that the first thing that has to be said about Gobby, I mean, it got a big smile on his face still coming in that 4th spot, but I mean, a crowd this size got them that far. And I mean, they were definitely a big part. We saw what happened, okay, just cast your mind back, Virtus Pro Katowice, the Polish crowd, we saw what happened over at 2014.
It's the real thing.
So, I mean, Cologne, Mousesports are there. He just said he could see himself in the top 4. You know, I just think there's going to be some exciting things to see in 2 weeks' time.
I mean, yeah, when you're playing any game or any sport, right, when you start feeding off that energy, the adrenaline starts pumping through, you go crazy, you're on point. Yeah. We could see a very different Mousesports at ESL One Cologne in 2 weeks' time.
Absolutely. I mean, okay, I don't believe in miracles in that matter.
No, I'm just because there hasn't been a big Finnish crowd.
Hey, Renegades is top 3.
This is a bit
Renegades is top 3 at the Toe Street Masters.
Yeah, but you come on.
Natty, the realist, just comes and smashes our dreams.
You know, I've had to deal with it the whole week, but my hopes are still alive, Alex.
We're sitting there.
I hold on to my hopes and dreams. And talk about hopes and dreams.
Mousesports is a team that is definitely they're improving all the time. They're getting better and better and better. I think what they need right now is a few days off. They've been on a tight schedule. You could see them being a little bit tired here and there. Just not the composure not being there. So take a few days off. I think they have a boot camp like everyone else to look forward to and fine tune a thing or two. play a lot of Counter-Strike and just try to find that peak in your individual performance when it comes to major. Obviously, home crowd is a great thing. I'm not gonna lie to you. I've had the opportunity to play against with a local crowd, and it's amazing for sure. It does give you a little bit of a boost for sure.
Yeah, I mean, when you feel more confident, that's when, even if you're tired, it suddenly overcomes, right? The adrenaline starts pumping through. But again, that's in 2 weeks' time. But for now, the big story is the Puppet Master gets his wish. Sponge and the boys, the Aussie boys, they get to still secure a top 3 finish here at the Intel Extreme Masters. They played the real game.
It is.
You guys thought it was all about CS and CSGO, but this was about politics. Yeah. And here we have Renegades securing top 3, and anything can happen. I mean, depending on the map. Depending on the map, right? As Happy was saying, if it's Cobble, Renegades goes mental, beats TSM, and then at that point you might have to play back-to-back. They say, hey, TSM Envy, how about that matchup?
This is where community vote really comes into play.
Yeah.
Now we see which team has more fan base behind them.
It's true, and it does become a bit of a popularity competition, which is another fun side of this, is that, I remember what Carrigan was saying just before. He was sitting there like saying, yeah, but, when it comes to the major, we have a veto. So, I mean, not worried about Cobble. However, not right here at IEM.
Yeah, you don't have that option.
That's what's crazy, is that this is going to be purely determined by what the fans want to see. And, I mean, TSM versus Renegades, I think that's going to be
awesome. I mean, we saw what happened earlier today. Of course, it's random, but we've had votes where they're picking out of the box. It's like 7 versus 1 ratio. We've had like 5 and then 2 and 1, things like that. So community vote does start to have a big impact. Let's take a look at where everyone stands right now. How did Renegades get to this point? How did they secure this top 3 finish? Just waiting for their rounds to be knocked out. Of course, we had CLG with an unfortunate finish with only 4 matches played, all losses. Very tough matchups for them, for sure. Getting knocked out first. And then we have SK also dropping down to 1 life. They've had a brutal day yesterday against the Renegades, but that's how the Renegades lasted today, because they played 3 matches yesterday against SK, back to back to back, pulled themselves through, didn't have to play a single match today. I think they're all right with that.
Yeah, when you look at CLG, you think, okay, they had a brutal tournament, but in the end of the day, they really dictated their own fate by themselves by losing that first match against SK. If they would have won that, it would have been SK on that same train that they had to take.
Yeah, and I mean, another kind of comment on CLG while we're on the topic is that their results weren't actually that bad. You look at their losses, and they were making really good postings against teams like Envy, against TSM, and so I think those losses need to be taken with a pinch of salt, and it's a good sign that CLG are on the improve.
Yeah. Now, something else to consider here is that TSM, in fact, no matter what, has to play, most likely has to play the next match against Envy, unless Renegades is crazy and they win and they choose to play against Envy themselves, because Envy has to play the match after, because they'll have the least number of matches played. Yeah. So if TSM wins, obviously they knock Renegades out. They don't have a choice. They have to play Envy. But if Renegades win, they're like, well, all right, Envy has to play, so TSM Envy no matter what. TSM, by all means, they can actually just sit back and say, let's prepare for Envy. Let's look at their games, not focus on the game against Renegades. Eventually, Renegades only has 1 life. There's a strategy behind that too. But again, let's go back to the community vote. Ladies and gentlemen, the vote will be open all night in European time. So no matter where you are, you have a lot of time to tell your friends, if you have a favorite team and they don't play CSGO, say go vote, and then tune in tomorrow and cheer for either TSM or Renegades in the first match of the last day here for CSGO at the Intel Extreme Masters. Should be an exciting day. Things have panned out very interestingly in the past couple days.
I think it's taken different routes that anyone, I don't think anyone imagined this kind of a play going on here. So yeah, it's been fun.
How often do you see Denmark versus Australia across the board? I mean, this is not the most common matchup, but I'm really looking forward to seeing how it does shape up.
Yeah, it should be fun. And it was also nice to see, we've had the stories where some teams felt a little bit dejected that they didn't have a chance to also game the system, but then you have Gabi and Mouse that are like, you know what, at one point we just accepted that's the system, but we're happy with how we finished in our last couple matches. Had a rough start, rocky start, but they finished with pride. Ladies and gentlemen, if you missed any of those matches, lots of good ones today, of course, also in day 2 and day 1. Head over to Plays.tv, watch the VODs, watch the highlights, because we've had some fun moments here at the Intel Extreme Masters. Also, let us know, what map do you want to see tomorrow? Renegades versus TSM. Who's going to take it? Hashtag IEM. Go over to ESL.gg and vote for your map. For now, that's it here for the Intel Extreme Masters at day 3 at Gamescom. But after the break, you guys still have the Intel Iris Pro show match waiting for you.
All right, then it is time now for the Intel Iris Pro show match. The way this works